Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. I know it's been a couple days since my last upload. I've recently been talking with my CPA around getting my tax situation figured out, and so that's why I haven't been uploading the last few days. Today's video, we're going to be diving straight into some all-around analysis. We've recently had a sell-off inside of the market, which has brought a ton of fear around. Little do these people know that we're merely retesting previous resistances, and this is going to be one of the last good buying opportunities that we're going to get before Bitcoin blasts well above and beyond $20,000. Many people are going to be wondering, is it really going to happen? Could we really see Bitcoin at $20,000 by the end of this year? And I'm here to tell you that this is not only likely, but this is what we are going to see over the next couple months, which is why we do not want to miss out on any of this exciting information. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have the fastest growing and truly the very best Discord community out there for cryptocurrency, and I would absolutely love it if you guys would join and sign up. It's free for anybody that wants to. All you guys got to do to join is to click inside of the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. Once you guys click that and you have access, I also offer my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. Remember, guys, if you guys want access to my signals, I will be doubling the prices within the next couple days. My website is so close to being completed. I only have a couple finishing touches, so it should be done in the next couple days. So if you guys want that 50% discount, make sure that you guys get in, because in the next couple days, I will be doubling the prices from $1,000 to $2,000. So if this is interesting to you guys and you want to learn more information on my video course and signals, make sure that you stay all the way to the end of this video, because then I'm going to be taking a couple minutes to explain how you guys can get signed up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. Alrighty, guys, we got a lot of really exciting stuff to talk about. I'm super hyped to bring you this analysis because it's going to perfectly explain what's going on. So without further ado, let's jump right into it today. So first and foremost, we're going to be diving into some Bitcoin analysis. Now, what is the big talk of the town right now is, are we actually going to be filling the CME gap? Is this thing bearish? What is going on with Bitcoin? Because we had a pretty quick sell-off. And to be quite honest, I think it's so comical that everybody is so bearish. We're seeing a lot of really good traders from 2017 that are bearish right here. But the funny thing about that, guys, is they've been bearish since here. They were bearish here. They were bearish here. They were bearish here. And now they're really bearish right here. They've literally been bearish the entire way up. And so many of these people have been doing this. They've just been holding on to their bearish bias the whole way up. And now, you know, guys, we're literally flipping this major resistance, and people are still bearish. Now, obviously, we've came back within this range. A lot of people are going to be sitting here, well, doesn't that mean we're bearish? We've closed back within this resistance, when in actuality, no, we haven't. And I'll prove it to you guys right here. One of the things that I want you guys to pay attention for, and something that I personally didn't think was going to get filled, was the CME futures gap. And if we come in here to the daily, you guys are going to start to see that. Now, this has kind of been the thing that everybody's been talking about. Are we going to fill the CME gap down here at about 9,750? And so this is the gap that I'm talking about right here. So this is a gap that we've had. Pretty much Bitcoin always ends up filling these gaps. And that's the thing, guys. Anytime we have one of these gaps where the candle closes up here and then we open all the way down and then there's just this random blank spot, generally speaking, Bitcoin usually always goes up to refill that. And we have yet to actually do that this time around. And so I'm watching this and I'm wondering to myself, are we actually going to end up filling this gap? And to be quite honest, you know, I think that it is a likelihood possibility that we could end up doing this. Now, with us filling this gap, I do not think that this is going to be bearish. In fact, this correction is merely just a short-term pullback from the initial move that we saw. In fact, if we actually label from the percent return, this entire move was about 200%, a 200% incline in value, and now we're starting to see our first little sell-off, because this, guys, wasn't really a sell-off. This was just consolidation. Up here was consolidation. There really wasn't much selling. This is the first time that we've actually had a significant sell-off, and in fact, if we pull up our percent return tool and look at how big it is, we've sold off about 21%, which is a perfect buy the dip opportunity. And that's the thing that people are missing out on. In my opinion, people are going to miss out on this amazing opportunity because they're listening to too many outside forces that really have no idea what they're talking about. You know, these people have been so bearish the entire way up, and now that we're seeing a sell-off, they're starting to claim their clout. They're starting to say, oh, I told you guys, I know I was right. Now we're closing back within this range. Short the crap out of this. And they forget that we just had the halving. They forget that we've had a macro higher high for a significant period of time now. And this was a perfect V bottom. You know, you don't just get a V bottom because everybody's bearish. You get a V bottom because there's a lot of buy support here. There's institutions that are buying this dip. So anybody that's trying to force feed you this bearish narrative is going to severely leave their followers stuck scratching their head when Bitcoin actually starts to rally. And this is the important thing for this video. I wanted to go through and actually explain to you guys what I'm expecting with Bitcoin. Because for me, I look at this and I see such an amazing buying opportunity. Because where we're currently sitting at as far as the time frames go, you know, we're at September the 8th. And this is kind of where I view the last good buying opportunity for long-term bids. If you guys have an opportunity to accumulate more for the long term, in my opinion, this is going to be the way to do it because I personally want to be holding at least 1 year and 1 day. So that means exactly 1 year from now would be September the 8th of 2021, which is when I plan to actually be scaling out of my positions. I don't want to be accumulating in the long term because I get a tax break if I hold for 1 year and 1 day in my investments. And so I don't want to accumulate long-term holds only to have to pay a higher tax by doing that. And so unless I'm going to be able to hold for a year and a day, there's literally no point in me actually doing any of that. And so that's my biggest point for why I believe this is the last good buying opportunity that we're going to get. I've accumulated a little bit of Ether because I want to be able to use my ETH in order to trade Uniswap coins as well as do anything else. I think that the big trading pair for the next cycle is going to be Ethereum. If you can find an altcoin that actually outperforms ETH, that's going to be your move. Otherwise, you just want to hold ETH long term because Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin the entire next cycle. And you don't want to be stuck there, you know, waiting. You don't want to be stuck holding Bitcoin, which is slow. You don't want to hold Bitcoin, which is not going to give you the higher percent return. You want to be sticking to ETH, or at least an equivalent that's going to outperform ETH and Bitcoin. Because if it outperforms ETH, it's going to severely outperform Bitcoin. And so that's the important thing to understand here. Now, couple things. Obviously, we've broken from all major descending resistances. As indicated here, this is merely a retest of this level. And in fact, you know, if we did sell off to close that gap, you know, that would be a perfect retest of this previous resistance as support. And my biggest belief right now is that we would get an immediate buyback and we would shoot up really quickly. And it's going to leave a lot of people scratching their heads. They won't expect it. As in, you know, most people never expect this type of stuff. And so it's important to understand that. We are literally just retesting some of the previous resistances. Even though we've closed a little bit back within, you know, that resistance, it doesn't change a damn thing. And that's exactly what this entire move is right here. We are merely retesting some of the previous resistance levels. And that's what we're going to be doing by filling this gap. You know, whether we come down and fill the gap all the way, at this point, you know, it's a couple $100. If you're accumulating long term, this should not matter to you. And in fact, altcoins are going to start outperforming Bitcoin quicker. And so even if we get one more sell off in Bitcoin, a couple $100 means absolutely nothing for me because we're looking at $100,000 Bitcoin and beyond. And so, you know, whether it comes down a couple $100 and fills the gap, it is literally nothing in my trading plan. It doesn't mean a damn thing. And in fact, if we did manage to close and fill that gap, I would be thankful because of the fact I was able to, you know, we get that close that everybody's been watching for. And on top of that, you know, it would provide another good buy the dip scenario across the altcoins. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for with Bitcoin, guys. This is merely a retest after a 200% pump that we just experienced from the COVID crash. This is our first sell-off to retest previous resistance levels that are now going to be acting as support. And this dip is going to get bought up. And all of these people that are bearish are going to look so dumb because not only did they look dumb from holding their bearish bias the whole way up, not only did they miss out on a ton of altcoin gains that, in my opinion, has already made me enough money that I don't even have to worry about anything. I've already made so much money during this initial leg up, which I really hope you guys did too. We've already made so much money off of this initial leg up that we, on this dip, are setting ourselves up for a huge explosion in those altcoins. And all those idiots that were trying to hold this bearish bias, you know, yeah, look at how much money they made shorting this crap. Tiny little sell-offs. Why are you fighting the trend of what's forming right now? No, we had such a big explosion. Sure, we corrected and retested, but now with this V bottom, this is a dead giveaway. There's obviously a ton of buy support inside of this market. You don't want to get stuck on the sidelines. You want to accumulate these types of dips because these are huge opportunities. Most people aren't going to look at it as an opportunity. Most people are going to look at this as, you know, a support failure. Most people are going to look at this as Bitcoin is about to drop to new lows. When in actuality, it's not going to do that, and this dip is going to get bought up really quickly. So pay attention for this, guys. Now, one thing else I want to talk about is where are my targets going to come from this move? Personally, I believe that we're going to be heading upwards of about 30 to 34K. About 32 to 34,000 is going to be my next target. And the reason for that is because this entire move right here was just a one wave impulse. This was wave 1, this was wave 3, this was wave 5. A, B, C, right? So this was our first impulse wave. This is wave 1. And now we're getting ready to work on wave 3, which wave 3 I personally believe is going to be taking us upwards to about 32 to 34,000. From there, we'd see a short-term sell-off, and then we'd still have plenty more upside potential to go. And the thing about Bitcoin, guys, this thing could even go far surpass 32,000. In fact, 32K might not even be the top of the 3 wave. 32K might just be a little short-term sell-off. You know, we might hit 32K short-term sell-off, and we just keep going up as we venture higher in this cycle. And that's important to understand, guys. And the reason why I came up with these targets is through some Fibonacci. Now, this is the way I like to use Fibonacci for targets. You go from the low. So you take the trend-based Fib tool. You go from the high. You go from the low. You go to the high. And then you go to the lowest point of the correction, which was down here at COVID. And then for this, we have to go to at least this 1618. For the 3 wave to be complete, we have to have it at least the same size as the 1 wave, which is going to be this 1618. If we hit 1618, that takes us to about 21K, and then that would complete at least the 3 wave. But generally speaking, with 3 waves, they're much more impulsive than the 1, and generally they go to at least the 2618, which is double the size of the 1, which if we actually hit that, that's going to take us to about 3150. From there, you know, I think we could experience a short-term pullback back to near that all-time high mark, which percent return tool would show that being, you know, about a 30% correction, somewhere right around there, which is pretty customary of what we saw. This is going to be the case for this entire corrective move back up. And this is kind of what we've seen up to this point. In the last cycle, we saw 20 to 30% corrections. This was 40. This one right here was 38. This one right here was another 38. You know, and this is kind of the story to be told the whole way up here. You know, we got these short-term corrections of anywhere from about 30 to 40%. And this was the way we consolidated the entire uptrend throughout that matter. And so we need to understand that when it comes to trading this cycle, we got to understand that there's going to be 20 to 30 to even 40% pullbacks. You know, we saw 72% pullback from the cycle high down here to the low. So you have about 70%. So that's a big swing, and we're going to see these all the time. And if you're not prepared beforehand, you're going to be that idiot that's stuck shorting support before we get a strong bounce. You don't want to be that guy, I promise you guys. You're going to make way more. You're going to make way more money just holding that long-term trend and accumulating. And this is just the very beginning of this parabolic cycle, which, in my opinion, is going to be taking us upwards of 32K next. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering, how the hell are we just going to go straight to 32,000? Donovan, you're so crazy. You don't know what you're talking about, you dumbass moon boy. And, you know, this is going to be the story that's told the whole way. You know, I'm a perfect figure for you guys to talk crap on, and that's fine. You know, I don't care about all of that. I'm merely just sharing with you guys my trading plan. You know, you can take it, you can believe in it if you want. At the end of the day, this is what I'm doing, and this is the way I'm going to be trading this market through. And really, guys, this is what I'm going to be watching out for. You know, I personally believe that the next move that's coming is going to be similar to what we saw right here. During this initial rally up, in Bitcoin during 14K, this is the type of consolidation that we saw, and this is really what I'm expecting to see. You know, whether we sell off and close the CME gap, it literally doesn't matter. Both paths lead the same direction. And what's important to understand is that I believe we are actually going to be clearing above this 14K resistance, and it's going to look a lot like this. You know, people are going to be stuck scratching their heads. People aren't going to believe that this was possible, and they're going to miss out. And that's fine, guys. Most people miss out on the rallies. They're going to miss out. They're going to think, oh, man, it's too bearish. Oh, man, this is too scary. COVID second wave. We're all dead. The same narratives that they like to push, agendas, narratives, you know, whatever the hell it is. This is what's going to happen. We're going to flip. We're going to get another V bottom similar to what we saw with COVID right here. Dip's going to get bought up. We're going to flip this 14K resistance. You know, we might consolidate here for a second. And then we're going to get a quick impulse that is, in my opinion, going to take us upwards of about 32K. You know, it'll look something along the lines of this. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for coming in Bitcoin. In my opinion, what we've already seen is all of the long accumulation, the long consolidation, the choppy action that takes forever to get to any sort of narrative. And the type of move that we're going to be seeing is this one here, where we really start to break out. we retest these levels, and we just continue to flip resistance levels as support as we venture closer to that 32K mark. And, from here, at this point, maybe we do see that sell-off, that 30-40% sell-off that takes us back down to retest the previous high. And then from here, we're going to get the next big impulse in that move. And it's going to look a lot like what we saw back in here. We made that uptrend, steady consolidation, sharp pumps, sharp pullbacks. And this was the way it went the whole way up. And then, eventually we'll lead to that blow off top. The pullbacks will become far and few between. And then that's going to be the part where we want to be selling. But we still have so much more upward potential still to go. And that's really why I haven't been so bearish about all this. I've looked at this as an amazing opportunity to buy the dip. I've looked at this as really just the pre-run before we get the massive expansion beyond the all-time high, because this all-time high is going to be broken quickly. I don't think that this is going to provide hardly any resistance, and it's more likely that we're going to have to head upwards of 30 to 34,000 in order to get that type of pullback. And so this is actually what I'm going to be watching out for Bitcoin. I got my targets based off of the trend-based fib. We're going to see, in my opinion, a 2618 impulse that's going to take us upwards of 32K, right around this area up at the 2618. And then that's where we're going to see a little bit of a pullback. And, guys, with Bitcoin, this is where you don't want to get too trigger happy with trying to take too many profits. And that's why I've personally built my trading plan based off of time frames. It's because, I don't see Bitcoin stopping, well below 100K. I don't have any inclination of selling until 2021. And that's what I think is going to actually take place. 2021 is going to be a massive year. See a ton of impulsing markets. Altcoins are going to go crazy. You don't want to get stuck trying to take too many short-term profits before we've even broken all-time high. I'm just in buy the dip mode in accumulation. I haven't really been taking hardly any profits because it pays to get in early on some of these assets to just get some skin in the game and just hold it long-term. Yes, you're going to make a bunch of profit. Yes, it's going to sell off and you're going to lose a bunch of that profit in unrealized gains. But if you're willing to hold that length of trend, this is just a common occurrence. It's going to be very volatile. It's going to test you to the fullest extent. You guys might be a couple $1 million plus in profit only to have a short-term correction of 30 to 40%. And then there you go. You're no longer a millionaire anymore and you're really scratching your head. Oh my gosh, where did my money go? Help me. God, please help. This is the way it works. And for me, I've already conditioned myself to be prepared for this. And so these pullbacks are merely just noise. I've not lost a bit of sleep over this, as you guys should not either. And so I get up here as more of a life coach, as a mentor for this bull run, because at the end of the day, I don't claim to be some expert trader. You guys don't see me throw up all these indicators and these fancy tools on my charts. I merely analyze price action, and it's so much easier to do. I don't need any moving averages. I don't need any indicators, because the thing about indicators is more often than not, they're a lagging indicator, and you can see what's going to happen with price well above and beyond anything that an indicator is going to tell you. There's always those people that are really big into their indicators, but I'm here to tell you, simple charts are the most effective charts, and this is why we zoom the hell out, is because this is where we make the money, right? Now what's really important here with Ethereum, I wanted to go through some analysis here, because this is just a perfect buy the dip scenario, and that's what I fail to realize from some of these top traders on Twitter, is the fact that they're truly shilling just garbage TA that doesn't make any sense to me. This was a major resistance level for a significant period of time. This was our resistance here in 2017. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Became short-term support here. It was resistance here. It was resistance here. And now this is us flipping it as support. Obviously speaking, we're within this resistance, but this is us retesting it. For the first time ever, instead of it acting as resistance, this is where it's going to act as support. It's possible that we could close and actually end up retesting this high down in here at about, $280 to $300 per Ethereum. It's very possible that we could end up retesting this high, but nonetheless, it doesn't change my trading plan, guys. This is a support and resistance flip. This is a major level, major level. This was a resistance here, resistance all throughout our consolidation in the bear market, and then this is us flipping it as support. Anybody that's trying to tell you we're bearish is just ignoring the big picture right now, and they are truly mistaking, and they're going to miss out on a lot of profit potential. The majority of your gains are going to come from accumulating down in these low points, which is what I've been so adamant about telling you guys, is the fact that if you're not willing to accumulate throughout all of this fear, if you're not willing to buy that dip, you're going to be the idiot that's stuck buying Ethereum when it's at $800, or you're going to be trying to catch that sell-off from $800. When you could have just bought it, anywhere from $200 to $110, even down to freaking $80, you could have bought Ethereum. It pays to get in early. It pays to not listen to any of the noise, which is why I don't listen to other traders. I'm sticking to my trading plan, and my trading plan just does not show any room for bearish activity. This is a major support and resistance flip. It doesn't take any special indicators. It doesn't take any special knowledge to just analyze one resistance line and be like, okay, well, this has been a pretty strong level. It was resistance here. It was resistance here. It was support here. It was resistance here. It was resistance here. And now, prices have broken above it, and we are now retesting this. Does this mean this is resistance, or does this mean that this is support? Well, for me, guys, the way that I've always been taught is if you have a resistance and we hit this resistance and we reject lower, obviously this shows that this area is pretty strong and buyers cannot break above it. But, anytime for me in my trading plan, anytime we actually broke above this level and then we sold off, obviously this is no longer resistance if price can actually break above that level. And this is the buy the dip scenario, BTFD, buy that dip, right? This is the biggest point of this cycle. This is the biggest opportunity of buying that we are going to get. And if you aren't going to be the person willing to do it, you're going to be the person stuck buying our bags as we are continuing to pump much, much higher. And I have no inclination of selling my ETH below this all-time high level. In fact, I only have more inclination of buying this dip. I've been throwing some money into this dip, and whether we come down a little lower, it's just another blessing from God himself. And so you got to look at it that way, guys. You got to get in that abundant state of mind. We aren't losing money here. We're gaining an opportunity. That's the key here. While everybody else is freaking out, while everybody else is panic selling, while everybody's calling for more downside, we're just the people that have the clear head. We're grounded, and we're saying, you know what? If this has acted as resistance, and now for the first time ever price has broken this level, I'm going to go with my guns, and I'm just going to go ahead and buy that dip. And that's the way I look at it. Because this, guys, this entire cycle looks identical to the last Bitcoin cycle that we saw. And I've indicated it by this pattern here. After we got this big blow off top, we started the bear market correction, and we went into this consolidation range, and this is where we accumulated about $200. Now, we had the low here. We rallied up. Got our first dead cat bounce. We rejected here, sold back down. We got another attempt to break out of that resistance, another fake out, we sold back down. We got our second low here. And then this is what started that major bull run inside of Bitcoin. And we can see that this level right here, this was resistance. It was resistance here. It was resistance here. It was resistance here. And then when we broke above this level and retested it as support, this was the biggest buying opportunity that we had ever seen. And look at what happened. Had you have bought that correction, had you have bought that retest and held to the all-time high, whether you actually sold the all-time high or not, it's aside the point. You would have made 67x returns. Ethereum is merely following this exact same accumulation pattern, and I'll share it with you guys right here. The only difference between these two is the fact that Ethereum is just doing it at a longer rate. This is a 700-day accumulation, whereas Bitcoin's was 280 days. So if that doesn't tell you the type of expansion that we're about to see, that's the important thing to understand. The greater the accumulation, the more amount of time it accumulates, the bigger that the expansion is going to take. Because you guys got to look at it this way. If you have a bull and it takes you, look at Noah's Ark, for example. Think about how much time it took to build Noah's Ark, right? This big boat, this great ship, right? This is Noah's Ark, right? So let's say it took Noah's Ark 700 days to build. Think about how many animals he would have had. Think about how many animals he would have been able to put inside of this ship off of a 700-day process of building, right? Now, let's say that little Tim here has his little tiny boat, and it took 280 days to build. How many animals is he going to be able to fit into that boat? Well, definitely not nearly as much as the amount of time that it took to build Noah's Ark, because there was way more time spent building, way more time building that base, that foundation. The same thing can be said about Ethereum today. If a coin accumulates for 280 days in this rounded bottom, it's only going to take a small impulse, and then it's going to keep going up, right? Whereas Ethereum, this is a 700-day base. Ethereum is Noah's Ark right now, and I'll actually draw it right here. See that, guys? This is Noah's Ark. We can see the little boat. And here is us breaking out from that and flipping this level, just like Bitcoin did in the last cycle. We are merely right here retesting this as support. Do not get shaken out by this, guys. I'm telling you right now, This is such a huge opportunity. And, I really hope you guys listen to me. If you guys don't, you're going to be stuck really pissed at yourself for not doing so, because this is such a big opportunity, such a huge opportunity. And the type of buyback that we're going to see coming off of this level, whether we come down a tiny bit more or not, it doesn't matter. The buyback that we're going to see is going to take us pretty quickly to $800 in Ethereum. And I would not be the least bit surprised if we start busting to that all-time high mark much quicker than people expect, because it's the same thing that happened with Bitcoin in the last cycle. Or not in the last cycle, but in 2019. Nobody was expecting Bitcoin. We had this major support level that we accumulated on forever, right? Think about how long Bitcoin stayed at this 6K support floor. So long we were here. Everybody just knew that it was going to hold the support, and then when we sold through and we got to this point, everybody just knew that this, oh my gosh, think about how long these bag holders were sitting there. Think about how much money was at this level. There's no way Bitcoin's just going to break this level. We're going to impulse up, we're going to hit this level, and then we're going to sell off again. Or we're going to take months and months of accumulation before we do that. And then what happened? Well, did not listen to a damn thing, because it just busted past that level so easily, so effortlessly, that, people were just scratching their head. I'll be honest, guys, I was scratching my head. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not expect that, which is why this time around for Ethereum, I am expecting the unexpected. I am not the least bit surprised to see Ethereum, hit this level, reclaim it as support, and just shoot straight past $800, and maybe even head upwards of $1,000 to $1,400. You don't want to get stuck on trying to think of too many variables. You just want to buy and hold long term, because these markets are going to surprise you over and over and over again. And what we're seeing is an exact correlation to what we saw in Bitcoin. We had the low here. We impulsed our first dead cat bounce. This is our second dead cat. This was our last attempt of the retest of those lows. And now this is us flipping this level. Look, guys. It's the same thing that happened with Bitcoin. The only difference is this was 280 days. This was just a small sailboat. And Ethereum is 700 days. This is a freaking Noah's Ark right here. And we are all of the little animals that are waiting for abundance to flow. We got to wait for the floods to go through, wash out the weak hands, because this is where we ourselves are going to make all of this financial fortune and opportunity. So just don't get shaken out, guys. Please, for the love of God, do not listen to these people, because I can assure you they are going to be wrong. And they're leading a lot of people to the slaughter. And, I have no problem coming out and being bold and saying this stuff, because I genuinely believe in what I say. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it. There's not a lot of people that are going to come up here talking TA to you guys and are going to be so bold about the way that they talk. A lot of people are going to be like, well, we could hit this level or we could go down to this level. I don't really know what's going to happen, but, if we come to this level, there's a good chance we'll bounce, yada, yada, yada. People are going to say like that. People that like TA, and generally speaking, a lot of TA analysts, they're very, very, vague. They don't like to pick one side or the other, because they're merely doing it for followers. I don't do this for followers. I'm just thankful as hell that you guys like my analysis and follow me. It's whatever. If everybody's unsubscribed tomorrow, I'm going to be fine, because at the end of the day, I still got my investments. But the thing about this, guys, is I'm so confident that I am willing to share with you guys my perspective. I'm willing to pick a plan, and I'm willing to see that plan all the way through, whereas most people aren't willing to do so. So shout out to some of the close people that I'm friends with inside of the YouTube community, people that are willing to stick to their bullish bias, people that are ignoring all of the FUD, because there are a few of them out there. I've mentioned a few of them on this channel. These are the people that are going to make this financial fortune, and those are the people that you want to follow. You don't want to be listening to all these bearish people that have been bearish since the bottom here, because they're just going to continue to be bearish and shill you the same bullcrap story that they've been stuck on since the beginning. We are not these type of people. We are the people that are here to obtain financial fortune, wealth, and independence. And this is truly the greatest buying opportunity that we're going to get. Whether we come back down a little lower, whether we don't, I could care less. It literally doesn't change a damn thing in my portfolio. This is a major support and resistance flip. Anybody that's trying to tell you we're bearish is severely going to miss out on a huge opportunity. So just ignore it, guys. If we dive into the total market cap, we're going to see pretty much the same story. The only real difference is we're kind of coming back in to retest some of the lower levels. We got rejected at their first high right here, but this is still us retesting the previous resistance of COVID. In my opinion, we didn't get a retest anywhere through here. And so it's important that we do actually sell back down to retest this level, because this is the way it works, guys. The only way we break a level is to fall back down and retest the breakout point. And then we go up. Then we retest the breakout point, and then we go up, and we retest the breakout point. And this is the way that markets accumulate. This is the way that they go. We can see an exact example of this right here. You know, even if price distances itself from that breakout point, more often than not, we come back down and retest that. And that's a pretty common occurrence that we see inside of these markets. And so with us being at such a low point in the cycle where, you know, we're still pretty much just making our base, we haven't even broken anywhere close to the all-time high marks. This is the types of moves where you really do want to be leveraging into positions. This is the type of stuff where, you know, you buy those dips because we don't get too many of these. And you don't want to wait and waste all of your time accumulating at these cheap levels, because when this thing takes off, it's going to look a lot like the last cycle, which I've updated you guys with consistently. The amount of times that we've looked like this cycle is just eerie to me. And, you know, this is the type of expansion that we see in price. This type of move here. Guys, that's what's coming to us. This is going to make this cycle look like a little fart in the wind, a little something that we don't even care about, right? It's going to look so tiny. We're going to get these big impulses. We're going to go crazy. We're going to go backwards in time right here. It's just to make more profit. It's going to look insane. And so I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page about this. I know I haven't updated you guys within a couple of days. I know that a lot of people are feeling scared right now, but I'm here to tell you guys that looking at these charts, it makes me so freaking excited. I have never been this excited because this is finally us breaking out of these resistance levels that I've been watching for so long. This is finally us retesting these, and not only have we broken out from these levels from 700 days worth of accumulation, but we're also getting a sell-off for a buying opportunity. How great is that? You know, all I can do right now is just put up my hands and thank God on this glorious day. You know, you busted out the God voice in the last video because I was just so confident in everything we're seeing. I said, God is just opening the clouds and he's speaking to us right now, and I can see his beautiful face in all of his glory, and he says, "Come, my sons and daughters, come and buy the dip of abundance, because this is your route to financial freedom." And this is exactly what we're getting right now. So don't miss out. Just ignore all the FUD. And remember why we're here. This is a long-term trend. We're not here focused on these short-term pullbacks. The pullbacks that we get are a blessing for accumulation, and that's merely all there is to it. You don't need to overcomplicate things. You know, for me, I'm just here. I'm just your little friendly macro trend guide for this cryptocurrency bull run. And I'm here to tell you guys that now is a good opportunity to be buying that dip. Now is a great opportunity to be just, you know, focusing on that long term. Obviously, this isn't financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. And I'm here to tell you that I'm buying that dip, right? So anyways, guys, before we wrap things up, for the people that waited this long that want to hear how to sign up for the video course in Signals, you know, the video course is going to be 20 educational videos that are going to teach you guys all of my strategies for trading. If you guys want to actually learn how to dive into these markets, you want to learn TA, I've got all of the resources in that 20 educational series. They're going to teach you guys all of my skills. All the things that I personally think are important are going to get taught to you guys in there, and you're really going to help to educate yourself so you can be profitable inside of these markets. Now, for the people that would rather sign up for the Signals, you know, for the next couple days, literally just the next couple days, I told you guys at the end of the week, but I ran into some hiccups. I had to make another video for that course for my ClickFunnels. And so with that being said, guys, you know, for the next couple days, it's still going to be $1,000. I will be doubling the prices within the next couple days, so you literally only have a small amount of time to get in at that discount. It's 50% off right now. You guys can purchase them together, $1,000 each or $2,000 for both. I will be doubling the price of the Signals from $1,000 to $2,000. And so if you guys have been watching my calls, you guys have been seeing my analysis, and you want to get into some of this stuff, make sure you check out that Discord. Make sure you guys sign up. Links are going to be in the description of this video to pay credit or debit. If you guys would rather pay crypto, you guys can actually join my Discord server by also clicking the link in the description, and then you can message me or any of the 6 moderators, and we'll all be here to help you guys get started on the right path of profiting today. Thank you all so much for holding through. Thank you guys so much for being such a supportive fan base. I love each and every one of you, and I'm so excited about all of the wealth and abundance that is going to just be flowing into your lives. With all that being said, guys, I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.